Good afternoon, Ghana. It's 12 o'clock. Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
52 days to the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. Hashtag Stop Galamsey now still on. Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. The Midday News is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra. In Kumasi, we are on Love 99.5 FM, live on myjoyonline.com. We are live in all 16 regions. And Menuveve FM in Aflao. We are on X Spaces and we are on Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrol Soul Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. This afternoon, former Speaker of Parliament Prof Ocquaye cautions against the declaration of 4 seats vacant, insisting it will be legal without an official complaint from the political parties and a fair hearing given to the MPs involved.
If he has been sacked by his party, you cannot pronounce anybody guilty. You cannot kick a member of parliament from parliament unless there's a process of hearing him. The current speaker is a very experienced man. I believe that he will go by the way that I'm talking about.
We have an exclusive interview with a former speaker. He's also been advising Alban Bagbing on what to do, along with reactions from one of the affected MPs, that's the NDC MP for Amenfi Central. He remains unfazed.
I went in, we paid 45,000 Ghana cedis. Within 30 minutes, I was disqualified as a sitting MP. It was nothing that I have done to merit that one. And yet the announcement went out that I say I've given my support to the person, rather the person who forged documents.
You want to stay for details of that. Also, we get to hear from Minority Leader accusing government of vote buying in efforts to share 3,000 cedis each to over 800,000 farmers as support for the dry spell in the north.
President Akufo-Addo and the MPP government intends to dole out 3,000 Ghana cedis per person and other assorted election-driven handout to about 800,000 so-called farmers.
We have a response from the Majority Leader, plus an update on the plan to revoke the airline that allows mining in forest reserves. President Akufo-Addo challenges NDC flag bearer John Mahama to make his position clear on the fight against Galamsey, reiterating a call to sign a pact to stamp out the menace.
Mr. JM, where do you stand? What are you telling the people of Ghana? Because every time you speak from one corner of your mouth and you speak from another corner of your mouth. Let us hear from you direct. What do you stand for? We need to know.
And as he prepares to leave office, President Akufo-Addo explains why he made this famous quote.
When I said I was putting my presidency on the line, that's what I meant. That I was prepared to take the political risk involved in trying to deal with this Galamsey phenomenon.
Their sports.
Ghanaians descend on the Black Stars and the Ghana FA over the nation's worst AFCON qualifiers in history.
We have that and more in this afternoon's edition of the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. Please do stay on for details. Many thanks for your company. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. We dig in and start off from Parliament, and former Parliament Speaker of Parliament, Professor Aaron Michael Ocquaye, has cautioned that without an official complaint from the political parties and a fair hearing, declaring the 4 seats of MPs who have chosen to contest the 2024 parliamentary election as independent candidates vacant will be illegal. On Thursday, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbing, would deliver a ruling on a motion moved by the MP for Tamale South, Haruna Idrissa, to have 3 NPP MPs and an NDC MP seat declared vacant after that debate on the floor of Parliament yesterday. We can hear from Speaker Alban Bagbing.
Both the statement and the comments have raised quite serious issues of procedure and substantive law, and I think I need time to go through them. Because what I believe is that do unto others as you want others to do unto you. And when you plant evil, you reap evil. And so I want to take a few days to submit a reasoned ruling in this matter. I see that this is not only an urgent matter, but a very serious national issue. And there's good reason why the constitutions after the 1968 constitution differed, because of the issue you are raising of some refer to it as cross-carpeting, so that tomorrow I will not either be crucified or hailed, but the right thing would have been done.
That Speaker Alban Bagbin yesterday after that debate, and we know that many of the MPs that stood on their feet to debate this matter referenced the former Speaker, Professor Michael Ocquaye's ruling on the former MP Andrew Sisiama. But Professor Michael Ocquaye has been speaking exclusively to my colleague Elton Brobe in that interview that will air later on the Joy News channel. That's The Pulse. He says the two cases are not the same and urges successor to take a critical look at the matter, insisting the move is needless.
In fact, it was some parts of the executive which initially were protesting. I told them they have no locus in that matter. If they wanted to do what they purported to do, they should let their party do it.
First sack him from the party?
Exactly.
Or recall him from parliament?
Exactly. First,
okay.
So the NPP as a party wrote to the Speaker stating why they were withdrawing their support, because according to their constitution, this person had betrayed his allegiance to the party.
Is how will I do so right?
He's wrong.
He's wrong.
He's wrong.
Why do you say so?
Because the benefit is not his. The law does not stand to his annulment.
Meaning he has no locus in
he has
this
no
matter
locus
because he doesn't belong to the MPP.
Because he doesn't belong to the party involved. So it is the MPP that can trigger
the removal of these
the removal of their own MP. Yes.
So for to put it in proper context, if Haruna Iddrisu wants something done, he can only do so as it relates to the only NDC member who is also, express his desire to contest an independent.
That is so.
But he cannot force the Speaker to declare the seats belonging to the MPP MPs vacant. This can only be triggered by the MPP as a political party.
By the MPP. And that's why I've given you the background of that legal provision. It is to correct a certain mischief that can be operated against political parties.
I'm looking at the tenure of members of parliament.
Yeah.
Because if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to parliament to join another party or seeks to remain in parliament as an independent member of parliament, I don't see anywhere that the role of political parties is mentioned here.
If he leaves his party, if he has been sacked by his party, if the party starts any disciplinary action against him, it's the party who knows. You cannot pronounce anybody guilty. You cannot kick a member of parliament from parliament unless there's a process of hearing him.
What do we expect the current speaker to do?
The current speaker is a very experienced man. He's one of the fundamentals of parliament. I believe that he will go by the way that I'm talking about.
Reverend Professor Michael Ocquaye's interview, that full interview will be aired at 3 p.m. on The Pulse on the Joy News channel with Elton Brobe. You don't want to miss it. Well, we've been hearing from one of the affected MPs, that's the Member of Parliament for Memphis Central, Peter Yaaka. He's expressed indifference towards the petition filed by the Minority Caucus seeking to declare his seat vacant. Yaaka, who was chosen to run as an independent candidate in the upcoming parliamentary election, states that his decision was as a result of what he views as unfair treatment by the NDC.
Very true that I've filed as an independent candidate. I'm the sitting MP for Memphis Central. And then I went into primaries. There were some more process and irregularities in the primaries. And some group of people petitioned the party and later ended up in court that the person who came up first was not qualified. And so after some long deliberations, the court injuncted the person that the party should not have anything to do with her and that she should also not call herself as a PC until the final determination of the case. So we're thinking that there's going to be some genuine destiny. I went ahead and filed to contest in the primaries, and in 3 days' time, I think they were giving the forms on Friday. On Saturday, we were to bring the forms to Accra, and then the vetting was to go on. I went in, we paid 45,000 Ghana cedis. Within 30 minutes, I was disqualified as a sitting MP. It was nothing that I have done to merit that one. And yet the announcement went out that I say I've given my support to the person, rather the person who forged documents. And because of that, court had injuncted, was declared unopposed. Yes, and I felt that no, that is not fair. So I have decided that if the people want me, I'll go independent.
That's the Memphis Central MP Peter Yaaka then speaking to our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Ocquaye Sante on the unfair treatment that has led to his candidature as an independent person. Well, let me bring in Ocquaye Sante. He's been monitoring this particular issue for us. Ocquaye, first though, let me find out if you've also cited the other 3 MPs in question.
Well, only Peter Yaaka has been in Parliament since the House resumed. Yesterday, he was around while the debate on his feet was ongoing. The other 3, who are all majority MPs, have all not attended the House. In fact, if you look at the vote and proceedings from yesterday, all of them marked absence. And I'm talking about Cynthia Morrison, MP for Aguna Central, Aguna West, MP for Sum, Kojo Asante, and the second Deputy Speaker, Andrew Ocquaye, who is MP for Formina. All of them have not been on the floor, both yesterday and today.
Well, another key issue as we wait for the Speaker's ruling on this matter tomorrow. Do we have any updates on the announcement by government that they will revoke the LI 2462?
Well, not yet. In fact, we've only cited a letter from the Office of the Attorney General to the Clerk to Parliament indicating government's readiness to present an LI to be revoked, to revoke the existing LI. And so we understand the Clerk to Parliament has received a copy of this, only that it has not been laid on the floor as of yet. And that is what will signal the decision by the Speaker of Parliament to perhaps refer it to a committee to look at it. As we speak, we understand that has gone to the Clerk, but hasn't arrived at the floor yet.
We can hear in your background a marking of attendance in Parliament. What else is the House considering today?
Well, yes, the House is expected to consider a few bills. It does not appear that the House is going to do a very heavy business. Parliament has decided that for this short meeting of the House, they will only take decisions on Thursday. So on matters that are very important that they will require a vote, they will do so on Thursday so that the chief whips can whip all their members to come. Already, the majority are facing uncertainties about these 3 other colleagues. Even if their seats are not declared vacant, will they come to the floor to support business as government is seeking to push through some tax waivers and a number of bills?
Well, but I'm curious, what's the general sentiment, though, about this minority caucus push for the declaration of the seats vacant?
Well, it has become a political footballing of a sort, divided along the line. The minority MPs fully in support of the minority leader. And in fact, I should clarify that the specific matter that is on the floor now is not Haruna Idris's petition, because it has not been referred on the floor. It was the minority leader, Dr. Councillor Ato, who did make an urgent statement on the floor yesterday. And so the specifics of Haruna Idris's petition has not yet even been dealt with. And we understand if the Speaker of Parliament is minded to bring it to the floor, it will be referred to a special committee that has been set up, that is the Petitions Committee. But the general sense is that minority MPs want the seat to be declared vacant. They want to have a taste of being a majority, at least in the next 3 weeks, before the House is closed sitting on the midnight of 7 January.
That's Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Ocquaye Sante there giving us update in Parliament. I'll stay a while longer there because Minority Leader Dr. Kaisel Atuforsen says government's plan to share 3,000 cedis and other support to over 800,000 farmers in the northern region is an attempt at vote buying. Government has said it is working on packages for farmers affected by the dry spell in the northern part of the country. Speaking on the floor of the House, though, the Minority Leader warned that such expenditure targeted at simply winning votes could derail the economy.
As we go into another election, Mr. Speaker, government must guard against the temptation of spending, and it does not have to be only this election. Right, Honorable Speaker, such reckless fiscal indiscipline is what has landed our dear country into debt hole and brought untold hardships to the people of Ghana. I am reliably informed, Mr. Speaker, that this President Akufo-Addo and the MPP government intends to dole out 3,000 Ghana cedis per person and other assorted election-driven handout to about 800,000 so-called farmers in the name of drought reliefs. Mr. Speaker, it is obvious that this government has not learned any useful lessons from the misuse of the COVID-19 funds and the borrowed funds on reckless consumption-driven expenditure. This NPP government must be reminded that Ghana's economy which they have badly mismanaged, is still not out of the woods yet. The Speaker, hence, strict fiscal discipline, fiscal responsibility rules must be upheld, even during an election year.
Well, the Majority Leader Alexander Fenyumakin fought back, insisting government had made the appropriate assessment and was supporting farmers whose livelihoods have indeed been threatened by the dry spell.
The Ministry of Agric, Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Agric, together with the Finance Minister, presented a paper to the Finance Committee. Mr. Speaker, in the briefing, they made known to us the measures they intend to take to support our farmers in the north. Mr. Speaker, members who are in the south may not know the situation of farmers in the northern part of the country. Many farmers have lost, Mr. Speaker, many farmers in the north have lost their farm produce, they have lost their farmlands as a result of the situation they found themselves. Government intends to support them, and government is going to support these farmers to sustain their livelihood.
Majority Leader Alexander Fenyumakin. Time now for hashtag Stop Galamsey Now. And President Akufo-Addo has challenged NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama to clarify his stance on the fight against Galamsey, urging him to join in a collective pact to protect Ghana's precious resources. As the nation grapples with the devastating environmental and social impacts of illegal mining, President Akufo-Addo emphasized the need for unity across political lines. He's been speaking on a tour of the Northeast region.
Today, he said that no, he doesn't believe in jailing, that he's against Galamsey, that he will enforce the law. So once again, we have to ask ourselves, Mr. JM, where do you stand? What are you telling the people of Ghana? Because every time you speak from one corner of your mouth and you speak from another corner of your mouth. Let us hear from you direct, straight up. What do you stand for? We need to know. The candidate, the MPP presidential candidate, has gone on record saying that as far as he's concerned, he's prepared to sign a pact that would the Galamsey issue out of our politics, to depoliticize it. Commit him and our party, all of us, agreeing that we would deal with this Galamsey phenomenon on a non-partisan basis. We have yet to hear from the NDC presidential candidate. I'm asking him to also come out and support the idea of a political pact on Galamsey.
Well, we recall that President Akufo-Addo mentioned that he'll put his presidency on the line in the fight against illegal mining. He's been speaking to it.
In the mining districts of the country, the MPP did very badly, largely because the NDC presidential candidate and the party had gone around the mining areas and saying that the policy that I was implementing of trying to stop Galamsey would be reversed when he came to power. And that those who were already in jail for offenses, the Galamsey offenses, all of them would be amnestied. When I said I was putting my presidency on the line, that's what I meant. That I was prepared to take the political risk involved in trying to deal with this Galamsey phenomenon. The result, of course, was that the mining districts, especially in the western region, all of them, including almost, nearly, even Takwa, was lost to the MPP. That is what I meant when I said I'm putting my presidency on the line.
On the issue about signing pacts by the presidential candidate, former Speaker of Parliament Ocquaye agrees. He believes that will compel subsequent governments to stamp out the menace.
Trust that there be a bipartisan approach to the amendment of the law. And all Ghanaians will see that everybody is agreed. You see that the law should be amended. And all other consequences that will flow therefrom must also be by consensus, and everybody must be part of signing to that pact. And when all that is clear, I believe the nation shall prosper.
Well, former presidential spokesperson Ben Dotimalo is also dissatisfied with the Akufo-Addo administration's approach to the fight. He believes that the military should be allowed to freely operate. He spoke on the Super Morning Show.
The solution, we have the solution. Don't tell me the Chang fans are just flying in
from nowhere. How do we get the Chinese? The Chinese ambassador who was here before said, the Chinese don't come from Beijing and nowhere to find gold. We are bringing them in. Why should a few greedy people be doing this and condemning? We have to get a moratorium. The solutions are there, and we can do this for ourselves and for our children. And we need to do this. We need to put a stop to it. It can be done. I hate to see our military reduced to something that is ineffective.
Now it's time to drive safe, and the National Road Safety Authority has applauded the Ghana Police Service for arresting the parent of the suspect driver who caused the death of two 12-year-olds at East Legon after his vehicle rammed into another, causing a gory incident. A statement from the police notes 2 others involved in the accident have been treated and discharged. We can hear from the Road Safety Commission's Acting Director, Engineer David Osafo-Adonting.
The National Road Safety Authority is supporting the police. We are with them. Because we are an interest group. We are interested in the case. It involves a death or 2. And these 2 deaths must be accounted for by somebody. And it is through investigations that we can know who should be liable and what we can do in this circumstance. So I can confirm that the National Road Safety Authority is backing the police, and we are strongly behind them in these investigation procedures.
That's David Osafo-Adonting, Acting Director General, Ghana Road Safety Authority. They're taking us on a quick break here on the Midday News, live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM, myjoyonline.com, live in all 16 regions, also on X Spaces and Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. We've been hearing exclusive details from the former Speaker of Parliament, Professor Ocquaye, cautioning that the declaration of 4 vacant seats would be illegal without an official complaint from the political parties and a fair hearing from the MPs involved. We return from the break. We have sports. We have our climate focus today, highlighting the Palm Trees Project, which is aiming to strengthen the resilience of communities along the White Volta Basin.
Looking at how they are impacted by flood and then drought, we will put certain adaptation strategies in place so that it will build their resilience.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a Petrosol station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
The luckiest star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah.
Here's to the friends who dialed star 712 hash and found no regrets. To the investors who struck gold. To the health workers who diagnosed luck with precision. To the tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. To the passionate fan who couldn't contain his joy. To the seamstress who turned her hard-earned stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now, here's to you. Your next big win is right here.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. The luckiest.
Dial star 712 hash. Now join in the luckiest winning celebration. Every 1st July 2024. Over dial star 712 hash. Now I to tickets as a group, individual, and now even as a community. Now win is the prizes are in the community draw, or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with star 712 hash. Now join in the winning streak now.
The luckiest
star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. The luckiest.
Charlie, this year's elections, I am really confused. I don't know who to vote for.
Why don't you know who to vote for? Let's listen to one policy JDM says he's going to implement when he's voted.
I think so NDC ban. You be bien Juman kitten. My person branch executive na di omo be gym. Say yankoko na person share poultry farm ketwe bi near ma akoko bono near ton koko na ma near ma eduane a wo de beto eduane ama sika wo de beto eduane ama.
But why are you laughing? My guy, relax. So this is the reason he wants us to vote for him? Oh, the man hasn't changed one bit. Same old dead goat. Now let's listen to one of the many policies Dr. Bawumia has for the youth.
Jobs will be my major focus. Now, me be training 1 million youth in digital skills.
And see, that's not all. Apart from that, he's going to set up SME Bank to enable SMEs expand, to create jobs for the youth, and also increase demand with the buy now, pay small policy, which is the credit scoring system.
Oh, really?
That's not all, oh. Let me give you the last one. He says he's going to introduce Buy Ghana First policy to boost local businesses to help them expand and employ more youth.
Wow. Now, I know who I'm voting for come December 7th. Dr. Bawumia, you have my vote.
Yes, so these are but a few of DMB's bold solutions for the youth when he's voted into power come December 7th. I've changed my mind. I'm not voting for JDM anymore. I'll vote for the bold solutions man, Dr. Bawumia. Great decision, my brother. This year, Dr. Bawumia's vote, yem fan cheche.
And yeah, therefore cheche.
Vote Dr. Bawumia, number 1 on the ballot.
This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Mubarak has the latest from the world of sports.
Yes, Emefa, a really difficult period for Ghana as the Black Stars must win their final 2 matches and hope Sudan stumble in the AFCON qualifiers. Angola have already qualified with 12 points in Group F, while Sudan need only a draw to secure their spot. They sit second with 7 points following their 2-0 win over Ghana. Now, some Ghanaians did not hold back in their criticism.
There's no spirit in the team. Ghana footballing nation can employ a trainer scout to come and coach a national team. A big team like Ghana Black Star, Charlie, is very awful.
Onye that good, onye that excellent, but rather than expose him as a way a kindergarten coach. He's not supposed to even be under 17 coach of Black Stars. Look at him, what formation boy? Huntimi, who shall born now as a circle 11 and a slam down 11 for Kobo. The guy should resign. The whole Black Stars should be dissolved.
This over your football.
What's the use of the league? What's the use of the FA?
Well, Emefa, some Ghanaians, they're reacting to the defeat yesterday.
Thank you for sports. Now, the Pan-African and Transdisciplinary Lens in the Margins project is integrating local insights and community-driven solutions to improve disaster readiness and climate adaptation in the White Volta Basin. This initiative engages stakeholders and communities in 30 areas across 4 regions in northern Ghana, focusing on addressing the impact of floods and drought on marginalized communities. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has climate focus.
We all know what a palm tree is.
One of the leading researchers, Professor Thompson Ano at the Department of Meteorology and Climate Science, leads the research using a multi-method approach to create risk narratives and improve climate modeling.
We are talking about the people that are most vulnerable. So these are the people that we are targeting. And then looking at how they are impacted by flood and then drought, we will put certain adaptation strategies in place so that it will build their resilience.
He knows that current interventions for drought and flood affected communities are often short-term.
This time we want to build their capacity so that they can cope with it and then sustain it so that their livelihood will be better.
Climate Focus is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with Youth Bridge Foundation, Bridging Gaps for Positive Youth Development, and the Climate Development Knowledge Network.
Well, let's focus on our disabled series. And Isaiah Amadou, a student at the University of Ghana, once endured the grueling task of pushing his manual wheelchair 26 kilometers every week to attend lectures. While his story stirred an overwhelming response of compassion. In a touching turn of events, Isaiah has received 2 new electronic wheelchairs donated by the Ghana Statistical Association and friends from Arizona and Texas in the U.S. Emmanuel Jivenu of our education desk has more.
I don't know how will I express that gratitude.
Isaiah's call for help has been answered. Today, he has not 1, but 2 electronic wheelchairs. The Ghana Statistical Association stepped forward, providing an electronic wheelchair, a full scholarship for his master's degree, textbooks, and financial support for its upkeep. Professor Nicholas Nsowa-Nuyama is the president of the association.
We have for you the electronic wheelchair, books to aid your studies, and then your future education.
A group of friends in Arizona and Texas, USA, also came through, purchasing another electronic wheelchair for Isaiah.
My words cannot express it to the full length. I'm grateful, and I say may God bless you.
Grateful for the generosity he has received, he believes it's only right to extend that same kindness to someone in similar situation.
I'm not the only person in this one. I'm planning on giving out to someone also like me that will support his or her movement.
Isaiah's journey, once marked by struggle, is now filled with hope. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News.
And it's time for our National Science and Maths quiz. Ashaiman SHS pulls off a dazzling academic heist, snatching victory from Agri Memorial Zion SHS in the final round of the preliminary contest to clinch their spot in the 1/8 stage of the 2024 National Science and Maths quiz. So in a contest where Agri started strong, but Ashaiman finished stronger. Also, we know that the St. Mary's Boys Senior High School have defeated the Shining Krubo girls in the preliminary stage of the competition. We can hear from them.
My ladies, tell me how you're feeling about this. You see, there was a first heartbreak and there's another one. So we are okay and we know that with God by our side, we will do this. We'll come again. Don't worry. Would you say 45 points is impressive or there's more room for improvement?
Oh, there's more room for improvement. Actually, we're expecting like 65, 66.
And it's on. The broadcast of the 2024 National Science and Maths quiz on Joy News is supported by NASCO, Vitamil, Virtual Security Africa, Ace Medical Insurance, Build Financial Technologies, DBS Roofing, Syntex Tanks, Family Health Medical School, Chopbox Technologies, and Action Secondary Technical, Multimedia School of Ghana, DPS Pipes, and Waka Now. And that's how we end today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu. Many thanks for your company. Have a good afternoon. Living Word with Pastor Mental Tabel. We are taking bold steps in the third episode.